Hi there, once again in the Bronyverse. This is Sparky Brony, once again to analyze more and more what is going on in the rich and textured universe of the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. As I have discussed before, magic is a big part of this universe of Technicolor talking ponies. But I'm thinking there is far more magic here than most of us realize. Let's go over this by race. First off, the Earth Ponies. As shown in Hearthwarming Eve, the three tribes didn't like each other very much, but the Earth Ponies grew the food in exchange for weather manipulation from the Pegasi and the raising of the sun and the moon by the unicorns. Now, while I believe that the other two races were capable of growing enough food for their needs, the Earth Ponies could grow a lot more food with much less effort, as evidenced by when Smart Cookie had the clump of earth in her hooves, and the clump grew in a second or two what would usually take weeks of effort. Add to that, when the one playing Smart Cookie in the play, Applejack, has a huge orchard that apparently is run by only 2 ponies. Well, 2.5 if you count Apple Bloom, but since she is a little filly, at least some of her day is taken up with school. Granny Smith, for the most part, runs the household, but the actual physical work, the work that makes the farm profitable, are done by Applejack and Big Macintosh. And yet, with only the 2 of them, there are always fresh apples on the trees, and apparently they are always harvesting. Yet, anyone who's worked in a real farm knows there's a lot more to farming than just the harvest. With trees, you don't have to plant them every year, but you have to take care of them. Pruning the trees so they grow more fruit than just more branches and leaves, fertilization, weeding, the generally very time-consuming chores. At least in this world, you have harvest time, which goes by very quick. But you have the whole rest of the year to get ready for the next harvest. And yet, at Sweet Apple Acres, there always seems to be harvest time. While there could be some other explanation from what we've seen on the show, I think it's magic that's endemic to the Earth Ponies, which enables them, through their connection to the Earth, that allows for things to grow. And as we know, Ponyville is essentially an agrarian town. Most of the ponies there are of the Earth type, so they are probably growing foods for themselves and the surrounding area. Since Canterlot is fairly close, I would suppose that Princess Celestia eats food grown in Ponyville on a regular basis. Now, on to the Pegasus ponies. Let's start with Pegasi in general. No matter the Pegasus shown, their wings are small. Actually, really small, aerodynamically that is. In a normal Earth gravity environment, the wings of the Pegasi would have to be several times the size shown to get them off the ground. Add to that, extra muscles integral to making those wings move would have mass of their own. Now, Pegasi could possibly have some of the same innovations to their bodies which birds in our world have, which allow them to fly, such as hollow bones and other changes to their physiology which allow them to be lighter than their earthbound compatriots. But I tend to think not so much. For example, Rainbow Dash, during the episode Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000, was able to add quite a bit to what Big Mac was able to do when it comes to squeezing the cider. Also, the Pegasus ponies of the main 6 have all been shown to carry at least their own weight, and Rainbow Dash, who is known to be an exceptional flyer, is also extremely strong, on the order of Applejack when it comes to strength. And let's not forget, fragile creatures that a Pegasus would be in our world could not even come close to surviving exceeding the sound barrier into a barn, nor could she knock the trunks from trees like she did in Sleepus in Ponyville. And in fact, when it comes to physical strength, Applejack and Rainbow Dash both seem to be very close to equal, as evidenced in the episode Fall Weather Friends. Applejack and Rainbow Dash show up as pretty much equal throughout the episode, with the only one with a real advantage is Rainbow Dash with her wings. So, to get off the ground, they must have some magic which allows them to fly. Take Snowflake, an obviously huge pony with comically small wings, yet somehow he's Wonderbolt's material? But that doesn't address Scootaloo, with her inability to fly. But then again, she can use her wings to power her scooter, sometimes pulling the other 2 of the CMC, and a whole host of building materials. I believe she has some of that ability, and she has been shown to hover a couple of times, and to have her wings aid her to jump extremely high. She must have some other issue, which the stereotypical bullies of Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon used to bully her in the revealed animatics for Season 4. We could talk about Scootaloo on some other video. I'm pretty sure we can get an entire video just about her. But let's get back to the Pegasi in general. For example, Rainbow Dash. When she flies, there are plenty of examples of her wings not only not moving fast enough for what she's doing, but apparently accelerating when her wings are not moving at all or even folded back. This is most evident in Sonic Rainboom, as well as one of my personal favorites with Rainbow Dash, Wonderbolt Academy. When doing a Sonic Rainboom, every time it is done, her wings are not flapping. Now with normal physics, that would mean she would just be falling, and terminal velocity is nowhere near the speed of sound. So something that is causing her to keep accelerating. But what? I can only determine from what is shown in the series is that magic is used by Pegasi to fly, not just faster, but to fly at all. And exactly how fast does a Pegasus have to fly to be able to do a Sonic Rainboom? While an entire video can be written to explain it, I will try to sum it up quickly. A Sonic Rainboom is far faster than the speed of sound, as evidenced by the Mach cone around Rainbow Dash as she accelerates to do the Rainboom itself. There would be no Mach cone in front of her at all if she were under the speed of sound, but she has it for several seconds as she is apparently furiously accelerating, yet somehow without her wings aiding the effort. Add to that, the angle of the Mach cone itself gets more and more acute. My hypothesis is that actually a Sonic Rainboom in the world of Equestria and My Little Pony is actually when a pony goes hypersonic, as in above 5 times the speed of sound. And her doing that into a stationary structure? Ouch! But apparently she's very strong, and obviously has very good ability to heal from injury. Plus, it gives me another excuse to show that beautiful imagery from Lesson 0 of Rainbow Dash destroying Applejack's barn. And now I have another question. So far into the show, there's only been one other Pegasus as good as flying as Rainbow Dash, not counting the Wonderbolts themselves, that is, and that is Lightning Dust. Can she do a Sonic Rainboom? Also, flying is not the only use for magic for Pegasi in MLP. Remember, Twilight had to cast a special spell in Sonic Rainboom to allow herself and the other Earthbound ponies to be able to walk on the clouds. Add to that, during Wonderbolt Academy, when Rainbow Dash saved her friends, she used a cloud. Either Twilight cast the same spell again, or Rainbow's actions compressed the cloud enough to make it solid enough for the Earth ponies not to pass right through it. Alright, on to unicorns, as they are the obvious magic users in the series. So I put them last, because every pony in Equestria has at least some connection and ability to perform magic. But the unicorns are the only ones who actually consciously use magic in their everyday lives. There are 2 unicorns in the series, at least until Magical Mystery Cure, that are followed, and that is Rarity and Twilight Sparkle. There are plenty of other unicorns in Ponyville, we know that, but we don't see their ability. And you have Twilight, whose special talent is magic itself, as the obviously more powerful magic user. But then again, don't count out Rarity. From all the way back in Season 1, in the episode Suited for Success, we have seen 2 things that Rarity can do that is quite special. First off, she is extremely dexterous with her magic, threading needles, working with very small items. She has never been shown as lifting much more than, well, her own body weight. But she can lift a lot of individual items at once. For example, in the song Art of the Dress, she's lifting and precisely moving several objects at the same time, something that Twilight only attempts as part of her advanced magical studies. But then again, living things might be a lot different than inanimate objects. But then again, Rarity has 0 problems lifting a sleeping Sweetie Belle in Sleepless in Ponyville. And also in Suited for Success, she is able to create with her magic a beautiful holographic presentation with her friends for the second fashion show, easily enough to seriously impress hoity-toity. At least, I'm hypothesizing that it was a holographic illusion, and not her transporting her friends through teleportation, which only Twilight has been shown to do so far. But I believe it is far more likely that Rarity made those beautiful visuals and not the actual ponies doing everything in that fashion show. Either way, that shows a surprising amount of ability out of our fashionista pony. And now we get really to Twilight, who is able to learn very complex and difficult spells with a few seconds of study, like Rarity's wings in Sonic Rainbow, and who is able to use a different type of magic, the magic of friendship, to defeat Trixie in Magic Duel. So, that shows a very high intelligence and raw magical ability, and she has all that in spades, as evidenced as what happened during her testing for Celestia's School for Gifted Unicorns, a la Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters from the Marvel X-Men universe. Although it's amazing to me that the test is to cause a dragon's egg to hatch. Wouldn't that be counterintuitive? A species dependent on a complete other species, which it has a severe animosity towards, to allow its children to be born? Doesn't work. Unless it's simply using a methodology to show how Spike was added to the show. And I can forgive the writers for that. But then again, let's remember this line from Spike.
Oh, I started out as a cute little purple and green egg.
Do you see any green at all in that egg? Sorry, but that's always bothered me. The writers do need to keep up continuity, in my opinion. Well, another video from me. I'm trying to change the way I do things, change the production value, make the way I talk better. So what do you think? Is there anything else I can do to make the videos better? Perhaps accessible to the non-brony, or those only casually interested in the show itself. This is Sparky Brony. Thank you.